Coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. What is up, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram. That guy is Doug McCain. Find him as DMac_LA on Twitter and Instagram. Guys, welcome to Blue Heaven. Cheers and thank you to our friends at Jim Beam for getting us through the next hour or so of great Dodgers talk. Douglas, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. I'm just ready for the postseason to begin. It feels like the Dodgers have been taking a bunch of quizzes. They've taken the midterm. Now they have to pass the final, and that is going on to win the World Series. But still, we can take a moment to appreciate what they've done. 110 wins this season. That's the most by any National League team in 113 years. They've been phenomenal. 53-20 against the National League West, just using the NL West as their personal punching bag. But yeah, this team's fantastic. They've been phenomenal all season, and because of their regular season success, they put themselves in a spot where if they go on and win it all, they'll enter the conversation as one of the greatest baseball teams in the history of the sport, the pantheon of great teams.
As of the time we are live, one win ties them for fourth best record or fourth most wins all time. So two more wins. That's the best they're going to do. Fourth best win total Major League Baseball history. That's something pretty damn cool. That's something special. Appreciate this level of consistency and greatness out of this team, guys. We talked about it last week. We're going to say it again on today's show. We got more thoughts on Alex Verdugo's interesting timing and takes about the Dodgers in the 2020 World Series championship season. We got to talk about the latest playoff picture because things have been so muddied for a while. At least it's felt that way. We've barely talked about that as we head into the postseason here. The Dodgers are getting healthy, but also not. Talking about Chris Taylor, so we'll have some more of that later on the show. What are we going to learn about these Dodgers, or what are we hoping to learn in these final 3 games of the regular season? Final roster questions. Calling them roster hot takes, we hope. A viral fan tradition on the internet gets even bigger this year. The Hornitos' final thought and a whole lot more. So before we get into the show, we got to remind you this is a podcast. If you can't watch us live, listen to us, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're on Amazon Music. We're everywhere your podcasts are available for free. So go there, check it out, do the subscribe thing, leave a review, leave as many stars as you possibly can. That helps us out. We're also uploading most of our content up there right now. So shout out to DJ producer Cody Lou over there for getting the content up on our YouTube channel, or from our YouTube channel onto our podcast channel. Give you more Doug and all that kind of good stuff. Subscribe to YouTube, youtube.com/Dodgers Nation TV. Leave the bell, do the ding, comments, all that kind of good stuff. Mash that heart button, fan
Smash
squad.
that like button.
Don't forget, though, this is a live stream, so let's dig into some of the comments. We got comments already going. Let's try to do better than we did last week, because I think we had a good time just whining and dining ourselves.
That's a good comment. It's a pretty solid one so far.
Go for it.
We got good to see you guys go Dodgers from Leslie over on Facebook. We got Tropical Storm London Dodger in the house. Nice. Across the pond representing the boys in blue. Carl, who cares what Verdugo has to say? He is nobody. The cat is back from Lynn Brown. We got Tatiana. Cody should not pass a midterm, I'm sorry to say. So, yeah, lots of different takes on different topics down below. But, yeah, keep them coming, guys. What are your thoughts on the whole Alex Verdugo, all the comments he made? Give us all your thoughts on the Dodgers. So we get into some hot stuff.
And let us know where you guys are representing Dodgers Nation tonight, where you're watching the game, where you're watching the Rams. Go, what do they call them, the Ramley?
The Ramley, yes.
Go Rams. We're competing with Monday Night Football. And to that I say go Birds. Because that's just how I be. Big time new Eagles fan over here.
I'm Rob Lowe with the NFL hat. I just root for my fantasy team, but yeah, I rock with the Ramleys sometimes. But it's all about the Eagles this year because I have Jalen Hurts.
Yes, sir. But, Victor's checking in from Ensenada, Baja California. We love that. I also was late in updating the title, so some people are giving us crap for having the title from your last post-game show.
Oh,
so people are going to be like, "Hey, we're a little behind schedule there." Paul says, "Go Lakers." Wrong channel there. Coach Charlie checking in San Jose, California. Daniel checking in from Mexico City. Alex saying El Gato is back tonight. Anthony Keene, Verdugo.
Yeah.
You had some fire takes over there on our YouTube channel. Check them out. We'll talk more about that in a second. Robert's checking in. Syracuse, New York. We got a $4.99 super chat from LDBC's Most Wanted on YouTube. I don't know who that is, but I appreciate that. Need another World Series to get the Dynasty level 2 World Series in 3 years, 4 pennants, 9 NL West titles in 10 years. Cheers, fellas. A lot of that sounds fun, but you know what sounds the best part of that is championships.
Plural.
So Mookie said he was going to bring rings.
That's the most important thing. Absolutely.
And I like the ring of that.
Yeah, hey, there we go. Don't mean to think if you don't get that ring. So, yeah, starting over with the Alex Verdugo topic. Of course, over the weekend, he called the Dodgers 2020 World Series title a 60-gamer. And to that, I say, Alex Verdugo, do you want some popcorn with that salt? Because you have just lost your LA privileges. We're going to have to take his once a Dodger, always a Dodger card. And yes, everyone is entitled to their bad opinions. But what got me so fired up about Alex Verdugo was that's your former teammate. You have Kike Hernandez in your own clubhouse, and you're trying to delegitimize that ring. And look, I think one idea I like is that Verdugo Road here in Los Angeles, we changed the name. You can't have Verdugo Road anymore. You change it to Betts Boulevard. You just can't have that at this point. So, yeah, I definitely think it was a slap in the face from a guy who said that anyone can ball out in a 60-game season, and his Red Sox, the Dead Sox, went 24-36, 16 games out of first place. So, yeah, I had people pretty fired up. They were telling me he's Alex Verdugo and things like that. Oof. Not happy about Verdugo, but what was your take on his comments?
I mean, I understand what he's trying to say, and by the words he said, sure, maybe he's right. I don't think he needed to say it. You just be like, congrats to them. So there is a saltiness level to it. It's always going to be read as saltiness when it's coming from a player that used to be on that team. And guess what? You were traded away from that team to get the guy that helped lead that team to the championship in question. So it's a bad look. It's a bad take. Everybody had an equal opportunity to win that World Series. Everybody played on an equal playing field. You know, he talked about there being no fans. There were fans in the championship series. There were fans in the World Series. Tampa should have traveled. Braves fans should have traveled. Dodger fans did, and they saw their team win a fully legitimate World Series championship in 2020. You know, you didn't have to win 11 games back in 1954 to win a World Series. You had to win, 4 games or whatever? Things change. Time changes, the schedule changes, and you play to what is available to you at that time. You believe in that championship. We celebrate that championship. I'm wearing my 2020 World Series champion hat that they give you. I don't know what they did with the Tampa Bay Rays World Series hats, but I'm sure the people in Uganda are very much enjoying that. But Doogie, you can make it up to us somehow. I don't think you needed to say it. I still love the kid in some way. He was a fun player, but yeah, I kind of agree with those LA privileges being revoked, like you said in a great video. Check out Doug's video. He went ham. He was heated that morning, I could tell, and you went off on a great video. YouTube.com/DodgersNationTV. Let's get into some of the comments here. Yes. Anthony Keene saying Doogie's got the X vibes. Deborah Young saying Verdugo's jealous, mad because he was traded, which is, the same thought I had. A lot of fans have, like we were talking about earlier before the show. It's if your team won it, you're going to feel good about it. If your team didn't win it, it's a Mickey Mouse ring. And I think that's just a bullshit, lazy take, but it's also the way fans work. It's the way the brain operates. The brain is dumb.
Yeah, and like I said, I can live with fans trolling, and a lot of it is those Padres fans that threw a damn parade after they won a wild card series or teams or other fan bases. But when it's Alex Verdugo, a guy that was brought up in this organization, one of the most beloved Dodgers as far as young Dodgers go. He changed his walk-up song to Volver, Volver. Everyone loved that. He was such a popular player. Don't let the kids get hot. And then he comes out with this after the fact. And Clint, why is it always the guys who have never won anything that have such a strong opinion. And the reality is, Alex Verdugo, he's a mid player. He's a very average at best big league hitter. And the thing he's going to be most known for is being the guy that was included in the Mookie Betts trade. So thanks, Alex Verdugo. Enjoy not being in the postseason while the Dodgers win a 162-game World Series this season. That'll shut him up for good.
The final thing I have on it is like, I wish he didn't say anything because I would love to have seen. I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure if Boston's coming to LA next year. I forget how the new scheduling works, but I would have loved to see him get not a hero's welcome, but he would have got some love from Dodgers Nation at Dodger Stadium.
Absolutely.
Now, he's a villain. He's going to be a villain because Dodger fans don't forget this kind of shit. Kike is going to get a hero's welcome. They're going to roll out the blue carpet for his ass. They're probably going to give him a delayed, on-field celebration for that championship. I would not be surprised because the Dodgers are a class organization. But Doogie blew a chance to remain kind of a semi-legend here in Los Angeles. Moving on, teams that are actually in the postseason picture, your Los Angeles Dodgers, not the Boston Red Sox. The Dodgers clinched home field advantage, and I know yo ass be excited about that because they have home field advantage all through the postseason.
All throughout the postseason, the Dodgers have been dominant at home and on the road. But when you consider the fact that they won't play a postseason game on the road until October 14th, they're going to be laying at home in their comfy home beds for a long time. And also, the Dodgers can set up their rotation. Doesn't matter who they're playing against. You're going to have their best rotation. And I just think this fan base at home, it's going to be electric. I mean, you just saw over the weekend, the Dodgers, they've sewn up this division for a while now. And that team just willed all those walks against the Colorado Rockies. I said that they had so many walks, my dog was starting to get jealous. And that's a crowd that's that juiced for a game that's essentially meaningless against the Colorado Rockies. Imagine what that's going to be like in the DS, in the NLCS. And also, too, I think the most important thing is last season, the Dodgers, a wild card win. And then what they had to do, fly up to San Francisco, start that series. Now that's going to flip the script. The team that is the wild card winner is going to have to fly to L.A. And then also, you look at the DS to the CS, the Dodgers having to go from San Francisco to Atlanta. So you're cutting down on that travel, but it's going to be big. And also, the Dodgers have only clinched one World Series title at Dodger Stadium, and that took place in 1963. Hope it happens again this year.
They did it in fake Dodger Stadium. They were they've won more games there. I still think than the Rangers there, Globe Life Field. Anyways,
at Corey's Cathedral,
we got another
Seager Stadium.
Another super chat here to before we get back into the playoff picture. LDBC's Most Wanted 499 super chat. Very much appreciate you saying, fellas, who would you prefer the Dodgers give an extension to, Trey Turner or Aaron Judge? Well, I guess a contract to. Who do you got? And I know you just dropped a video on that today. YouTube.com. Check it out. Wait. There's the thing. Who do you prefer between those two guys?
Well, you talk about a guy like Aaron Judge, a guy that has had one of the best years that we've seen in modern baseball history, a guy that knows how to slug at such a prodigious rate. And what I always say is power prevails. If you want the dub, you have to get that slug. Mm-hmm. And he's a guy that, imagine him as a right-handed batter in this lineup. And you have Mookie, Freddie, and then you have Aaron Judge. Forget the murderer's row. It's the death row Dodgers, right?
Yep.
I mean, this is the team
that's a legit death row Dodgers.
That's a legit. Trey Turner. I mean, look, I think Trey Turner, I'd still love to have Trey Turner on the Dodgers under the right circumstances, under the right contract, but he has faded a little bit down the stretch. I'm still on the pay Trey train. And the Dodgers, they're going to need some frontline starting pitching. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too in the weeds on Aaron Judge, but I had to pick between one or the other. I think I still would take Trey Turner long term. I really think I would.
So I had my hot take I pulled out of my ass earlier today, which is where they live. You let Trey walk. You already know they're probably letting Cody Bellinger walk. It's not that most ideal situation, but Lux at shortstop, Mookie Betts at second base, where he really wants to play and be happy. Aaron Judge, your starting right fielder, just an idea to play around with. It's not going to happen, but if the Dodgers want Aaron Judge, it's going to happen. That's just how the Dodgers operate. They wanted Mookie, they got Mookie. They wanted Freddie Freeman, they got Freddie Freeman. They wanted Max Scherzer, they got Max Scherzer. Well, guess what? They also got Trey Turner along the way. So that's how the Dodgers operate. Back into the playoff picture, things that matter now. A whole lot of offseason. Hopefully not a whole lot. We want to keep playing into November. That's the way it works. This guy's Mr. November over here. But The Braves sweep the Mets. The mighty Mets fall to the wild card spot. Things are crumbling. Steve Cohen, I'm sure, is throwing money on fire to keep his World Series dreams alive. I don't know. He's just got a lot of money, so I want to throw that in there. Canley Jansen saved 3 games against the mighty Amazons. So Dodgers are going to, as of this point, they have a 2-game lead. The Braves have a 2-game lead over the Mets. 3 games to play. Very, very unlikely because they're not going head to head. It's going to be the Braves getting that postseason spot. So it's going to be San Diego or the Mets first round. Thoughts on that?
I mean, I think the big takeaway there is that it's not going to be the Braves, because the Braves, if you look at the Dodgers record from the start of June till now, they're essentially identical. The way they can slug, the way they rake against left-handed pitching, you have experience. That lineup is long, and I think the Braves, we're going to see a trilogy in the NLCS. So I love the fact that you avoid that series with Atlanta. But when it comes to the Mets versus the Padres, that's where it becomes a very interesting discussion, because Jacob deGrom, he's looked as hittable as he ever has in his last 4 starts. A 6 ERA. You're seeing him give up home runs. And if you have the thing that Dodger fans really need to root for right now is that the wild card round between the Padres or the Mets goes 3 games.
Yep.
Because then in game 1, you're looking at their number 4 starter in that game 1. And then you got Jacob deGrom, the deGrominator, who we know had the success against the Dodgers in 2015, allowed 2 runs in 13 innings. But what I want to see, Clint, is Max Scherzer in Mets pinstripes going against the Dodgers. Because look, Scherzer, he stars in my favorite movie, The Day of the Dead Arm. And I think that you're going to see another dead arm situation, because look, his arm only comes back from the dead when it's time to sign a big time contract. So yeah, I just think that it'd be great for the Dodgers to cross that Max Scherzer, who, look, I loved having Mad Max in Dodger Blue, but when he was blaming them after the fact. So got some more thoughts on this matchup too. And you were talking earlier. We were talking a little bit. You say we never talk off the thing, but we actually were talking a little bit about the Padres. And yes, the Dodgers, they've dominated the Padres once again this season. They go 15-4. It's little brother. They had him in a full Nelson. They just tap out every time. But the more times you play someone, at some point, the Padres, can they get lucky? What are your thoughts on the Padres?
I mean, the Padres can absolutely get hot at the right time. It just feels to me, and I don't have the exact numbers to back it up, but it feels to me like the Dodgers always find a way to lose that first game in a series against the Padres. Regular season, we got the Trent Grisham our big home run off a pimp job off Kershaw, but LA always comes back to go beast mode on them the rest of the way. This is a team, the Padres are a team that have spent the last few years cultivating and curating a roster specifically to beat the Dodgers. So that has to give you some worry. I mean, they have some mid to good starting pitching, something the Dodgers can struggle against. They have some bats that can take over a game. It sucks that Fernando Tatis is not healthy, because we would love to see the perfect even matchup. But it's a very, very good team, and any team in the postseason should scare you. You look back to the 88 Dodgers, they were slammed by the Mets all year long before beating them in the NLCS.
Great point.
Anything can happen. Regular season stats don't mean anything. Numbers, schedule, records, that all doesn't mean anything when it comes to October. So any team should be should put a little fear in you. Don't go in there cocky, because we've seen the Dodgers go cocky. It feels like in 19, it was kind of a cocky feeling team, and guess what? They were playing with their cocky a little early that offseason. I'm just saying. And I have one note I want to say about Max Scherzer. Listen, he's going to pitch in that wild card series. He is going to party. He's going to celebrate.
Good point.
And we know old man can't hold his liquor anymore and then go put his work in to get his arm and his body ready to go. So he's just going to party. He won his one game in the World Series or in the postseason in the wild card, and then everything's going to break apart because, he's 38 now.
I'm drunk. Remember? at the game.
Yeah,
High
I'm just
five.
saying.
Yeah.
Listen,
No, but yeah, I think those are all fantastic points. I like your point about losing early to the Padres. And when you talk about a short series, that's why you would fear the Padres a little bit. Because to me, I look at this Mets lineup. They're middle of the pack versus lefties. They're middle of the pack when it comes to home runs. Last weekend, I watched the entire series. Everyone not named Jeff McNeil was terrible at the plate. And I don't think you're going to see them playing Timmy Trumpets. I think you're going to be seeing him playing taps at the end of that series. I think it could be season over for the New York Mets. And I just want to see all those haters out there that say the Dodgers, they buy their rings. They buy their success. Well, look at this with Stephen Cohen. You can't just throw money and build the infrastructure and build quality at the margins and build a farm system. We saw when the Guggenheim Group took over, it took a couple of years to really build that quality depth. So I do think the Padres could be a little dangerous. And the thing about the Padres, like I said, Dodgers 14-5 against the Padres. They're not going to be the poverty Rays or whatever you want to call them, the fraud Rays. And they've won all 6 series, but they've also Juan Soto's played better. Josh Hader's pitched better. Manny Machado's having an MVP season. And the way I look at it is this. In a shorter series, everyone's dangerous, right? And you're going to see a little margin, less margin for error for the Dodgers. To me, the Dodgers, they're a big casino. I call them I call the Dodgers casino the Bluagio, right? And you know the casino, the house always has the edge, but that's when you play more games, you give the edge to the casino. But if it's a shorter series and you're talking blackjack, maybe they win a couple hands early in that series and you're already down 2-1 and it could get dicey. So yeah, I definitely think the Padres are a team that I wouldn't want to face if I had to pick between the Mets and the Padres. I think the Dodgers, I think they would make light work of the New York Mets. Like you mentioned, 88, the Dodgers lost 10 of 11. This year, the Dodgers have lost 4 of 7. But yeah, to me, I don't care what people say about the Dodgers and Padres not being a rivalry. There's a different tension level when those teams face off. And
I mean, even the Giants being as bad as they were this year, that still gets the people going more than this. I'm sure I would love to see Dodgers, Padres reach that level because rivalries in sports are fun. They're fun for stories. They're fun for headlines. And all that kind of stuff makes us kind of people survive content-wise. Keeps the lights on. But it's not there yet. You get something here in a postseason series where, oh, man, I'm just changing it a little bit. Like I imagine that the New York headlines, if the Mets don't get out of the wild card,
it's going to be LOL Mets, man. All the Mets fans are having a meltdown. They feel like this is a collapse.
That got DeGrom back in a season. They have Max Scherzer. They have arguably the best closer in baseball. They have Pete Alonso, a feared slugger. They have all of these parts. Francisco Lindor. And you couldn't get past the Padres without Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah. No, that definitely would feel like a collapse, just like last season when they were winning the division pretty much the entire time, and they collapsed at the end. And the Mets against the Padres this season have gone 2-4. So the Padres have played well against New York. And I think what really hurt the Mets is the Starling Marte injury. Some of those moves haven't worked out well, from Ruff to Naquin to Vogelbach. So, yeah, I think that's not the momentum you want to have. But the reality is, if their frontline guys pitch to their capabilities, if Scherzer and DeGrom pitch well, they're going to be a problem. But it's going to be advantageous for the Dodgers to avoid the Mets possibly, and you avoid those two guys. You're going to avoid having to face them multiple times in a series. Maybe if short rest is involved, you could see a DeGrom in a game 5. Hopefully we won't get to that, but I think that it's going to be Dodgers-Padres. That's what my gut tells me. And the positive about the Padres series, too, is you would keep it on the West Coast. You would have to fly all the way to New York. But the reality is...
We don't want old man Kershaw on a plane for that long.
Exactly. He's got to be like Madden, do like a bus, all the way across country or something like that.
By the way, you mentioned 2015, Jake DeGrom. I'm just saying, I think he's made like 40 starts since 2015, so I'm not too worried. Not too worried about DeGrom at some point. Boom, there's your bulletin board.
Yeah, and I think that DeGrom will
guys.
pitch well. His expected FIP is still really solid, and he had a great start against the Dodgers in New York.
Doesn't that XFIP love somebody like Craig Kimbrell? Just saying.
It hasn't loved him for a while. But I'm just saying the quality of contact numbers. I still think that he's the DeGrominator.
A couple of comments here. Victor De La Torre taking issue with my Max Scherzer comment, saying I can party and I'm 50.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I'm old too. It hurts. That's all I got. What do you think about that, Cody?
We got Preach Clint here from my man Anthony Keene.
Well,
we
love a
got
good
Tropical
preach.
Storm. My daughter Blue says, hi, D-Mac. Please say hello quickly. It's 1 a.m. here. Hi, Tropical Storm. Thanks for rocking with us in the wee hours, burning the midnight oil here with Dodgers Nation. We got A D-Mac F Verdugo from Armando.
Hey, an important note, by the way. Blue Agio.
That's the casino.
You got Cody on that one. You got me on that one. Go
I
put
can
all
go
your
on
money
and on
in
with
it.
this casino
I
theory.
know.
I'm going to say it for another show.
You're an absolute animal. We get that. Sarah Morris, our friend, says, I love the travel between LA and San Diego. You got to love that. It's a fun series. It's a short drive. Dave Roberts gets to stay sleep in his own bed, which you always want to love. Love to see happen. Matty Man 5 Dodge says, Babe Ruth will get more postseason at bats than Joey Gallo.
Ooh.
Alex Renteria, so if the Dodgers beat the Mets in the NLDS, then the Braves in the NLCS, and top it off by beating the Trashers or Yankees in the World Series on top, winning 111, 113 games in the regular season, that's a fun, just like, I mean,
you definitely immediately put the
you don't even want to finish the idea, the thought, because you don't want to put that
it's
out
chef's
there.
kiss. So
you don't
satisfying.
want to put the bad juju out there, you know. just saying. Sarah also said the Padres don't have an offense other than Manny. A lot of things do go through Manny Machado, which has to be concerning, and we've seen he can go both ways in the postseason. He could either turn it on and carry a team, or get hissy and step on a first baseman's foot.
Yeah, no, yeah, Aguilar, oh man. But
Anyways.
yeah, in a perfect world, they have Tatis back, and you have Juan Soto, and they're a much more stacked lineup. And the bottom of their lineup hasn't gotten it done this year. The Jury trade hasn't quite worked out, but there's still a lot of talent up and down that lineup.
Hater trade did not work.
The Hater trade hasn't worked out, but he has pitched better of late. And also, too, you got Blake Snell, you've got Yu Darvish. So certain starters, Joe Musgrove has had some success against this Dodgers lineup, but also I think the familiarity the Dodgers have with all these guys is going to work in their favor. And even if you get a quality start from a Musgrove or a Snell or one of those guys, the Dodgers are going to wear him out by the 6th inning. Then that's just what they do. They're going to knock him out. It's like a fighter, man. They win by decision, not by knockout sometimes.
You get through that bullpen and you just take it out. You weaken that bullpen. You weaken the starting rotation for deeper into the series. One final note, and one final comment, and this will be something that we dive into more later this week, because we do want to get into a more in-depth
that's right.
postseason predictions and all that. But Demas Avila on YouTube nailed it. We need payback against Atlanta, and that would be fun. That would be the trifecta, 1-1. Or it's tied right now. You got to have that ultimate decision series there. But moving on, injury updates. What you got?
Sorry, Tropical Storm just gave a really cool comment. She said, D-Mac, she's going mental. She thinks she's famous. Love all the Dodger fans, even across the pond. You make us feel part of the family.
Look at that.
Trying to
At
make-
Tropical Storm on YouTube. Thank you
Trying to make me cry like Freddie Freeman back in Atlanta.
Thank you for checking in,
Still
chiming in, giving us a
mental.
great comment
Mental.
there. Producer Cody. Injury updates. This is the important stuff. This is stuff that tells you how good the Dodgers could be, player-wise, when we're actually facing any of these teams in a couple of weeks. Tony Gonsolin back today versus the Rocks, his final tune-up before the regular season, looking to get 3-4 innings out of him. What are you hoping to see out of the Catman tonight?
I'm hoping to see the command. I'm hoping to see him attack the zone, the compete, him get on the meownt, and just really just go out there and feel good the next day. See how he talks after the game. What are his comments? How did he feel? How does the velocity look? Because if you look at some of his rehab start, just under 93, so just under his season averages when you look at his fastball. But just getting him out there and just starting the process of working his way up to 3 innings, 60 pitches, 4 innings, 75 pitches. If everything goes right, maybe 5 innings in the later round. So really just getting comfortable back out there on the mound, because he hasn't pitched in pretty much 5-6 weeks at this point. So just
Last
seeing
start
how he
was
feels.
August,
for sure.
August 23rd was his last start. So less than ideal to have that injury happen at this point in the season. But, you got to hope that it doesn't affect him too much. For sure. One thing, my thing I'm looking for, make sure he's using his full pitch mix.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
again, that's an injury that does kind of affect
Great point.
the split finger, and this is a man who lives on the split finger. So watch that tonight. If you're listening to this show, let us know how it went in the comments below. Blake Trinan threw a full bullpen session today. We'll know. how he's feeling tomorrow. Really, we're going to know how he's feeling on Wednesday. I'm still not holding out hope for this guy. Like you've said time and time again, it's a bonus if we get anything out of him in October. Just don't count on him. It's plain and simple. Don't count on him. And even if you do add him, get him to a point where you can add him to a postseason roster, you're probably not going to get, more than 2 or 3 games. I just don't have faith in him to get the job done. And guess what? We got other dudes who can get the job done. Evan Phillips, Kaneley's getting the job done. Talk more on that in a little bit. Dustin May threw over the weekend, came out of it good. They said today he's feeling good. It looks like he, by all accounts, he should be back, should be ready to go come the start of the NLDS. What do you think his role is going to be? Bullpen or maybe like an opener with a Heaney piggyback?
I think going with the latter on that one. I definitely think that they're going to maintain their flexibility with Dustin May. I think that you're going to see them mix it around. I think with Andrew Heaney has definitely proven in his last start that he can come in after an opener, give you 4 really solid innings, and as long as he keeps the ball in the yard, I think you're definitely going to see a piggyback situation with Dustin May, but also use him as a bridge guy after some of these starters. I don't think you're going to see Clayton Kershaw and Julio Urias go deep in the games. When I'm talking about deep, I mean past 6 innings. I think they want 6 solid, and then you got Dustin May as a nice bridge guy, and you get into this filthy bullpen. You hand it off to the Evan Phillipses, the Yancy Almontes, the Brusdar Gratteralls of the world, and then also you give them a different look if you want to use Dustin May later in the game. I've said for months that he was going to be the guy that had that Julio Urias type role and get you the save in the clincher in the World Series. And look, I think what I love the most about Dustin May now and how they're going to use him in his role is he can go out there and just empty the clip. He can go out there and just balls to the wall, 4-digit. He doesn't have to think, I got to pace myself for 5 or 6 innings.
Let it eat. Throw 104.
Go out there. Empty the clip, D-May.
F around and find out. That could be his role.
Yeah.
And that would be a great role. A couple comments here from our friend Tati talking about Blake Trinan. He's always back and throwing a bullpen and then not coming back. Not worth it. Appreciate that comment. I.E. Doyer saying Canley looks good. We do got some Canley love. Got to talk about Canley in a little bit later in the show. Tati also adding Tommy Cakes looking great. Don't need Blake. We're going with Tommy Cakes. I said Cakes Canley. I don't know if people will know. I mean, the people in the know are going to know Tommy Cakes. High on the bracket. Just saying.
As far as who wins the thing?
No.
Oh, nickname?
I'm just saying, like nickname.
You're
the nickname guy.
My nickname for him is the Tominator, not the Terminator. The Tominator, Tommy Gun. I like mine. Mine doesn't talk about his body parts.
Wop, 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 wop. Hey, I don't know what button do we have.
It'll grow on you.
There it is. I have the button.
Okay, let's ask the comment. Do you guys like the nickname for Tommy Kanley, the Tominator? Give me a Y for yes. Give me an N for no. The Tominator.
Oh,
T2.
this is riveting.
Tommy Gun's not bad.
Whatever this is, Tommy Gun.
Yeah.
But it doesn't talk about his big fat ass.
Hey man.
Moving on. Seth Gribble says D-Mac is the Michael Corleone of Dodgers Nation.
Unreasonable man.
Man, you're bringing out all the best stuff today, huh?
No, but hey guys, yeah,
let's put him on the spot.
The Tommy Cakes. I like the Tommy Cakes. I mean, I just saw a picture of him right now. That boy thick. How do you do it?
Damn boy, thick ass boy.
Yeah, it kind of makes you think of that.
I don't know what the letters are, but we appreciate the letters. There's a lot of N's and Y. Oh, people are giving you yeses and nos to your question.
Oh, that's a no from me, dog. No Tominator from Anthony Keene. Wow, Anthony Keene.
See, this is why you only come up with
my boy Blue.
Well, not only you use your
Dog
nicknames
him.
more in a dugout because you can't get the immediate feedback and you just let it eat, and then it becomes part of the lexicon.
Need a Google Doc with all DMAC wordplays.
Right? If somebody does that, I will buy them a Coke Zero.
I'm sticking to it. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Moving on, Dustin May. We already talked about him. Justin Turner, he's fine. Had a little shin ouchie. Fouled the ball. Fouled the ball off his leg. He wouldn't have missed any time if it was the postseason. They're just trying to get it right. Didn't have anything terrible going on in there. They said he didn't need to drain out any human goops out of his leg, so that's good. But the big one, Chris Taylor. The news gets a little bit worse for Chris Taylor today. Of course, he got the neck injury. Dave Roberts hasn't sounded too optimistic about it. And just before we went live, found out CT had an epidural, or the other one. What did he have? He had an injection in his neck hole to try to alleviate the ouchies in there, as they say technically. Where did you go? I saw it. I saw it somewhere. Cortisone. There it is.
Yeah, cortisone.
Cortisone injection in his neck. Hopeful that he's back for the division series, but acknowledge he's concerned about the status. So chances are we don't see CT3 to open the NLDS. Is that a concern? And does that how concerned are you about that? And does that open a door for Miguel Vargas officially on this postseason roster?
Well, it's definitely a concern because he's played such a pivotal role in so many postseasons in the past. And he's also entered the postseason struggling. Last year, he was hitting under 200 before he went crazy in Octaylor. He was on 8 for 72 slump before he hit that bomb. But he wasn't setting the world on fire. 608 OPS in the month of September. He dealt with the elbow injury early on in the season.
It's been a banged up year for him.
Yeah, definitely banged up, man. And also, the thing is, when he's banged up, it takes away from some of his value. He isn't that Chris Army knife because you're not seeing him playing in the infield because they don't like the angle of that throw. I mean, he was playing in the infield later in the year, but I think when you look at the depth of this lineup and the fact that you have Freddie Freeman now, and you have Mookie Betts is healthy. Trey Turner, I'm hoping, is going to have a playoff tee, a breakout postseason run. I think the offense is going to be fine, but Chris Taylor, you never know when he's going to be at the plate in a big situation, and you're going to get Clutch Taylor. But as far as the roster spots that it could open up, I mean, it's very interesting because does that open the door, like you said, for Miguel Vargas? And Miguel Vargas, if you look at his numbers, they're not impressive at all, right? 178 OPS.
A little bit better over his last, 5 or 6 games. The bat quality looks better. The package as a whole isn't great. CT3 is a more better player, as they say, just by track record alone. But if he's hurt, you got to figure Miggy's number one option.
Yeah, and I think Chris Taylor, maybe you send him to Arizona and you get him right because you know at some point Chris Taylor is going to play a role for the Dodgers in this postseason run, whether it be the NLCS or the World Series. He's a guy that has that clutch gene that we all talk about, and I'm fully confident he's going to help the Dodgers in some capacity. But if he's banged up, yeah, the Dodgers have some options. With Miguel Vargas, the thing I like about him is that hit tool. It's definitely advanced for his age. He's also hungry. You see him working out with Mookie Betts before the game. He's getting pointers there. And
he's
then
working out with Dino at short today.
Yeah, he's working with Dino at short. He can play some third. And the thing is, too, he did have that strikeout game against the Rockies where he struck out 3 times. But for the most part, he can get his bat on the ball. He can hit for contact. And he's a guy that you just never know. I mean, the Corey Seagers, the Gavin Luxes in 2019, he had a big moment with that home run. Yep. Blake DeWitt back in the day. There's examples
my boy, Blakey.
Of guys that have come up, and I think ignorance is bliss for a guy like Miguel Vargas. He's the notorious MIG, right? The Miggy, can't you see? And if he comes up,
swings,
just hypnotize me. And then you also look at the fact that Hanser Alberto, he hasn't been impressive himself. I mean, he's a guy that struggled throughout, really hasn't been as productive at the plate as they had hoped. So it does open up the door, but if, let's say, Chris Taylor is 80, 90%, when you consider his postseason experience, I'm still taking an 80 or 90% Chris Taylor over a raw and green Miguel Vargas.
Yeah, you got to figure the neck is it's an important part of the hit tool, an important part of the complete game. I have no real issue with CT missing a series and coming back and hopefully being a difference maker. Just to give him that extra time to get it right. We've seen it happen before with these Dodgers. I mean, Seager missed 17 NLCS, and somebody finds a way to step up. That year it was Charlie Culberson, and that was fun. But, I just think knowing who Chris Taylor is, he's going to fight to be in that lineup. He loves to play, and I just don't think that he's going to benefit as much playing in Arizona, trying to stay hot down there versus getting it right in the postseason. I don't think he would go to Arizona anyways. He would be on the stay hot squad. He would be with the club, working out with the guys, getting treatment. You don't want to send him away to go get treatment and then, drive to San Diego or wherever the hell he needs to go. Keep him with the club, get him right, get him feeling sexy and slimber.
Slimber, that works.
That's what I'm going with. Before we get to the fun of the bracket segment in a few minutes, this is going to be to me in honor of our friend Eric Yulo. 3 up, 3 down. That's what I'm going to call this segment right here. Bringing it back. This is in honor of Eric. We're appropriating the 3 up, 3 down name to talk about 3 Dodger topics that are hot and 3 that are not. This is brought to you by the Dodgers Nation app. Download it on your Apple store and your Android stores and all that kind of stuff, and it's going to get you through the Dodgers championship postseason. We got 3 ups. We got 3 downs. Essentially, it's who's hot, who's not, but that's boring. Let's go with 3 up, 3 down. We have the graphics, but it says Eric on it, and I don't want to steal that.
In memory.
Up, Cody Bellinger. Give me some Cody thoughts.
Look, the numbers, like, they're not going to wow you, right? He's not setting the world on fire, but it's just a much better controlled approach at the plate. You're seeing him hit for contact. You're not seeing as many strikeouts. Only 1 strikeout last week. He hit the home run. You saw some sacrifice flies. The competitive at-bats are there for Cody Bellinger, and he is ready for October. He's a guy that every time, like I say, the leaves start to die, he comes alive. And he's a guy that he's put himself in a position where he's going to help this team. And you know how much they trust his defense. They just need some contribution on offense. And yeah, he hit the ball hard a few times, and the approach has definitely benefited him.
The important thing about Cody Bellinger is he doesn't look overwhelmed right now. He's not walking up there with 2 strikes already on him. So he's in a good spot. Dave has even talked about how good he's looked, and he's noted that he's hasn't been rewarded, but he's not quite finishing at bats. But just the at-bat quality, like you said, it looks a lot better. He's putting wood on the ball instead of just, walking his ass back after a K. We already talked a bit about him so far today. Tommy Kaneley. Give me some thoughts on Tommy Kaneley. Tommy Cakes, not. What was the one you tried to Tominator?
The Tominator.
I need you to close your boots and your motorcycle.
Get down.
Get down again.
Feel like it's already growing on you people. What do you think?
What do you mean, you people?
You haters
Give
out
me some
there.
Kaneley thoughts.
Oh, so look, Tommy
Cinderella
Kaneley.
story out of nowhere.
Look, Tommy Kaneley, I've been urging you guys now down below in the comment section can attest to this. I've been very high on him and the idea that he would come back and have an impact because he has the stuff that plays up in October. He has that 80 grade changeup that's been absolutely filthy. It's been nastier than a bad Yelp review from Karen. He is just an absolute dog out there on the mound. And if you look at since he missed nearly 4 months due to that inflammation in his shoulder, he's just been phenomenal. A 1.17 ERA, 194 FIP. He has a 33.7 strikeout rate, not walking. Guys, opponents are hitting 83 off of him. And just look at his baseball savant page. There's so much red, it looks like a crime scene. I mean, he's missing barrels. You're getting soft contact. And I just think that he is a guy that I'm calling him the Tominator. And I'm just messing guys out there, okay? All right, I'll retire the Tominator, guys. Jeez.
Hey, Robert Baker says, stop with the stupid nicknames. Just talk about the team.
No, but look, Tommy Canley is going to help this team. He is going to be a high leverage reliever. You are going to see him get big saves, and this is exactly what the Dodgers expected him to do. They signed him in 2020, knowing he was going to pitch in 2021, knowing that at best he was going to be back in 2022. But I think that they made that signing for the 2022 postseason. I mean, look at Corey Knebel. He was a guy
so specifically curated. I mean, yeah, Knebel had.
Yeah,
he was there. He was hurt for most of the season. He came back, made a difference. They ended up starting 2 games for some stupid reason, probably because Max Scherzer had a little too much to drink.
The opener in NLDS, but Canley's been fantastic, and he's going to be a major player for the Dodgers.
Yeah, it really does change the complexion of this bullpen, and that is huge because fans have been so worried about Craig Kimbrell getting the ball in important situations in October. We've been worried in the past about a Kenley Jansen type getting the ball in important situations in October. If you have Canley as a bridge, I mean, if somehow by the miracle grace of our Lord and Savior Tommy Lasorda, somehow Blake Trinan can make his way back. You got Trinan, you got EP, you got Tommy Canley, Cakes Canley. Just saying, there's the nickname there. But Evan Phillips, that was the 3rd guy we had in our up. I want some thoughts from you.
So Evan Phillips has been one of the best relievers in all of Major League Baseball. Since May 1st, a .51 ERA. That's tops in all of Major League Baseball among qualified relievers in that span. Fireman Phillips has been the guy they're calling him high leverage honey bun Phillips there. So, look, this is a guy that the Dodgers found off the street. They claimed him off of waivers. They sprinkled that Dodger dust on him, and he's now one of the best elite relievers in all of Major League Baseball. And he's a guy that has to be that high leverage guy. He has to be a guy that the Dodgers can count on in the 6th, in the 7th, in the 8th, whenever it is against the meat of the lineup in the big spots to go out there and get those big outs. And I fully believe that he is going to be that guy. If you look at his numbers, everyone thought that Blake Trinan was the greatest reliever in the world. And he had a fantastic year last year, but Evan Phillips of 2022 is superior to Blake Trinan in 2021. That is how good he's been since the beginning of May. So, yeah, Fireman Phillips is going to have the biggest role for the Dodgers bullpen. I think you'll get him. I think you'll see him get saves at times. I think you'll see him go out there in big spots and deal. So, yeah, lots of confidence in Evan Phillips.
So I don't know if we're being trolled here or no. Well, holy crap! No, this is fake. You guys got faked. It is trolled.
What is it?
It's
So-
fake.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
fake.
It, yeah.
So,
Oh, they
so
DFA
yeah, somebody had that. This is some troll on the internet.
I'll handle this. I'm gonna give this one a 0 Dodger dogs.
No truth to this rumor,
That's
guys.
a jet passing. A jet
It's-
with the 2 T's.
it's-
a Buster Phony.
It's so good too because they said that Kevin Pillar, bro, was activated.
They got my hopes up.
I was
Pilar,
like,
come
I'm
on,
going.
man.
I was
60
scrubbing
DIL, they would
I
have
was
to give
scrubbing
someone on
through
there.
TweetDeck. I was like, I'm pretty sure my Lord and our good friend of the show I already did Lord and Savior. Our good friend of the show, Sir Billiam Plunkett, would have been on top of that. So you kids
Wow.
got played. You got played. Just saying, Kevin Pillar, bro.
Hey, not that it's a bad idea though. Let's be honest.
He's
here.
alive and well. Both Craig Kimbrell and the guy I just said, Kevin Pillar, bro. Down. Let's look at the down. All right. So since his return, Gavin Lux hasn't been too great on the offensive side of the ball. Looks like he's still struggling a little bit. It shows you that neck thing can be a struggle. Give me some Lux thoughts there. You know, are our necks that important?
No, Lux definitely has struggled since returning from the injury. He's hitting 146, a negative WRC plus, and what he had so much success with earlier in the year is the strikeout rate was reduced significantly. And now it's at 38.1% since he's been back. The walk rate is down. So the best thing about Gavin Lux this year was you didn't really talk too much about him because he wasn't having a fantastic year, but he wasn't having a bust of a year. He was right there in the middle and he was consistent. So yeah, it's definitely a little concerning considering how close we are to the postseason. But last year late, he dealt with some injuries. He also dealt with some rough times. And then he came through in the NLDS. He got that big base hit that passed the baton to Cody Bellinger in Game 5 that allowed him to get that big base hit to put the Dodgers on top. But yeah, to be completely honest with you, he definitely needs to find it in the next couple of games. Not find it, but just at least do something, have maybe a 2-hit game, get a big base hit, just start feeling good out there.
I wonder if there's something lingering too, because it
Yeah.
feels like he's not playing as consistently as he was before he went down with the injury. And he was a dude who was, he's putting together good at bats against right and left. Like he was one of the better hitters. They just happen to be batting him 8-9, whatever. Let him settle back in. Put him back in the 9 hole and just let him be your second leadoff hitter in a way. Take the pressure off. Let him feel good. Whole new season starting next Tuesday. You wanted to talk about this as a down, the Dodger offense against starting pitching, particularly of late.
Yeah, look, let's be honest. The Dodgers, they're ready for the postseason. They're not pushing guys. But still, if you look at last week, they struggled against pretty much every single starter. Just for one,
Several of those were Padres starters.
exactly, scoring 1 run or less against the 6 starters they faced last week. You've had some guys having some down weeks. Trey Turner, he really hasn't been the same hitter that he was in the first half of the season, or even like we saw in the second half of the season last year. Mookie Betts, he turned it around. He was going through it for a little bit, but I think this team is. I don't want to say they're coasting. But offensively, during certain stretches, they did look a little checked out. You saw too many lazy fly balls. You saw too many non-competitive at-bats. You saw them expanding the strike zone uncharacteristically. So I just hope that this team they find a way to just maintain some consistency. I mean, they have a 60-game series versus the Colorado Rockies. I think the series versus the Rockies is longer than the entire 2020 regular season, right? I mean, at least it's got to be pretty close.
This is so awful, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's terrible.
it's
So
a painful way to end the season.
it really is. I mean, the Dodgers, yes, they've dominated the NL West, but yeah, I mean, I guess that just they're a victim of their own success at this point. But I'd rather have them have a big cushion, be able to rest guys, than fighting for a division like the Braves and the Mets have been for the last few weeks. But yeah, the offense, they've been a little stagnant of late. And yeah, I still have full confidence that they're going to be humming and ready to go once the postseason starts, and they'll really be click on all cylinders and flip that switch. But yeah, there were some points last week where I'm like, hey man, it's already a big investment, for Dodger. Why are we even tuning at this point? Because the lead is what it is. You have the home field advantage throughout. But yeah, there were certain points last week that left a little more to be desired.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as long as the team is finding a way to get some offense against somebody, you'd almost rather see them get it against some late inning relievers, really shake a team to their core, because that's more. I don't know if it's debilitating. It hurts more when you have a lead or you're in a game and then you just shit the bed in the 7th or 8th inning, and then it's like, we wasted all this time on this.
No, exactly. And then you give a team like the Padres confidence, knowing they can go in and have success against this Dodgers lineup, knowing they can go in and get big key outs. But this team, they are so ready to roll. It's almost like you're a kid and you're waiting for Christmas and you have one of those chain things, you rip one off like every single day. This team is ready for the postseason.
Wow, rich kid. I don't even, what is it? We're not going to.
You guys ever had the paper things where
you talking about
rip
an
one
advent
off?
calendar?
No. You rip one.
You rip a chain off?
No, these pieces of paper, they're like linked in little chains, and every day in December you rip one off until Christmas. So if the Dodgers technically have 3 more to go, since they have 3 games.
I have a calendar to tell me when Christmas is.
This was back in the day, man.
Yeah, is it a thing that you do like in school, right?
Yeah, kids still do it.
You went to school now? Wow, rich kid.
You learn a lot about me.
Yeah. This is the most I've learned about you.
Hey.
Cheers.
Look, the reality is this
Gary.
Dodgers offense, they're stacked like a pile of pancakes, so they're ready to roll.
Yeah, even Tati was saying an advent calendar. No, apparently there's something other than an advent calendar. See, back in my day, you knew it was Christmas when you put the tree up 3 days before. Because we took our time. Final note we had on the 3 up, 3 down. It's not really a down, but there aren't any exact perfect options, we'll say, for the final 2 roster spots for the Dodgers. We know now Chris Taylor is, at this point, I think 50-50 is better odds of him making it. Like, it's probably less than 50-50 chance of him being on the NLDS roster. Could, and we've talked at a good amount about Hanser Alberto. We've talked already today about Miggy Vargas. Do we look outside the 26 or 28-man roster? Could some MILB, could minor league guys sneak into the picture? We've seen a lot about him. We haven't talked about James Outman in a while. And everybody remembers our 2020 World Series champion Puerto Rican Python.
Eddie
Rios. Could one of those guys, Joey Gallo hasn't looked all that great. If he was brought to take that Eddie Rios role and add some defense, could all of a sudden, and now with CT3 out, he's essentially your starting left fielder, but could that, Edwin sneak his way in as the DH or something like that?
They do have some interesting options. And talk about Kevin Pillar. He, of course, is on the 60 days, so they have to DFA.
No, I just saw he was activated.
Oh, he's activated? He's
activated.
Yeah.
And they released Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw. Edwin Rios is a guy who's definitely raking down at AAA. And James Outman, this guy is an absolute phenom, what he was able to do. And I think that if you're the Dodgers and James Outman, could he have come up and sat and had a bench role? Well, no, he stayed down at AAA and was getting those reps and getting those at-bats. So if they feel like he can come up and help them in the last minute, maybe they do that. But if you look at Joey Gallo, there was all this talk out there that it's about his beard, the powers in the beard. Joey Gallo isn't fixed, okay? That narrative needs to change. With the Yankees, he hit 159. With the Dodgers, hitting 165. So a 6-point difference. Big. With the Yankees, a 282 on base percentage. With the Dodgers, 281. If you look at the slugging, with the Yankees, 339. With the Dodgers, it's 385. So a 46-point difference. A 621 OPS with New York. a 667 OPS with LA. And to me, what I look at is the strikeout rate too. His strikeout rate is higher with the Dodgers at 42.2% than it was with the Yankees at 38.8%. So he is not fixed. It's like they took a car and they put a big fresh paint job on it, but no, it's the still same broken engine under the hood.
They gave him the Pimp My Ride.
The Pimp My Ride treatment, yeah.
I had back in my olden times, I used to work at a different place.
Yeah.
And people would buy buy automotive parts from said establishment. And we had one of those Pimp My Ride cars come in. The guy said it was an absolute piece of shit. Like, they did all these things. It was overweight. I know a thing or two about that. It drove like shit. The mechanical, nothing was done. It was dirty as hell under the hood. So anyways, boom. Yeah, just like Joey Gallo. Dirty as hell under the hood.
No, look, I mean, I think he's going to make the roster. I think yesterday you saw defensively, he lost that ball in the sun. He was cussing himself out, but he still is a plus defender. Yeah. They can trust that. And I think the Dodgers, they're hoping that he comes off the bench, adverse a righty, and finds a way to hit a tank. Because when he crushes one, he absolutely obliterates it, hits it all the way to Pasadena, but the contact isn't there. You saw last week.
Man, I'm so afraid of him. Oh, go ahead and complete your thought.
Oh, I would just say last week, I mean, we're talking about the Dodgers offense. Last week, he strikes out twice with the bases loaded, leaves 8 runners on base, and they're just contact issues. He just can't get his bat on the ball during certain situations, and he gets dominated sometimes. So, yeah, the point is he's not fixed. Stop tweeting at Dodger fans.
I'm just terrified of him taking at bats from Trace Thompson at this point. Because if CT3 is not available for this first series, the bat needs to be in Trace Thompson's hand. That's just the way it is. He's not. He's proven me wrong, because back in the days, back in his first tour of duty here with the Dodgers, the defense was a little sus at times. He's become a quality, serviceable defensive outfielder. The bat is, I mean, it's on the come, as Dave likes to say, and it's a better quality. There's actually a potential for contact as opposed to Joey. You know, just striking out 45% of the time. And you know that's going to go up when he's facing the DeGrominators, not Tominators. When he's facing a Scherzer, maybe, likely not, because, you know, those types of dudes. Or a Yu Darvish or whatever, I'm just saying. Those are some thoughts on that. We got a lot more postseason talk coming later this week. Next week, we'll do a full series preview, roster breakdown, all that kind of stuff, and then all off season long. Make sure you guys are tuned in here, youtube.com/Dodgers Nation TV. Pre-games, post-games. Doug and I are going to die this Sunday in the ring. Our final topic of the day. This is always a fun one. We've been talking about this now on this show and on this network for a couple years. It's bracket season. Got to be excited about bracket season. There it is. See, he's getting it. He's getting it. Appreciate it. This is bracket season again for the 5th year running now. Internet friend McKenna has put together, I would call it the always divisive, hottest Dodger bracket. And it's usually divisive because some people just don't understand fun.
Yeah.
Like, you're objectifying men for the fun of it in a way. But also it's like, if you do it, it doesn't make you less of a man. You don't need to shit on other people's parades for them participating in something that has nothing to do with you. So just leave it alone. But it's cool. It's fun. It does bring some people together, people that usually would not belong together, people that might not like each other. They come together to fill out the bracket.
Yeah.
32 players enter. Only one exits as the definitive hottest Dodger on the current team. Definitive. By their own taste. I know you filled out one. I know I filled out one. The important thing is, for the second straight year, that the bracket comes with a cause. McKenna established a fundraiser benefiting peace over violence in recognition of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So last year, this is cool. The fans pulled together to raise more than $5,200 that went towards the East LA Women's Center. So that came together in about a week's time or something like that. It took a little bit of time. You know, it eventually got promoted, but you know, it's hard to get these kind of things out and about in the whole world. And when you're talking about, you know, the big guys, LA Times, all those kind of things. they have a long time
Yeah.
before they're able to get something out there and into print. I think Times did touch something on it last year. Our friend Houston Mitchell did a feature on his newsletter,
really?
which was cool. So
pretty
shout
cool.
out to Houston from last year. But this year, fans have absolutely crushed it, raising as of like right now, I think close to $5,400, over $5,300 in. Well,
Nice.
funds, whatever we want
And
to say.
I want to say too, I donated anonymously, so whatever's the highest anonymous donation, that was mine. I'll take full credit.
We're also working on something here as a group, so don't think that number is going to stop, but it is still climbing. You guys can still donate now. You could also be entered to win or entered into a raffle to win a number of cool giveaway prizes. A whole bunch of people, friends on the internet, pulled together to give, it's like, you can count on my steel, I'll stand by you, like people giving bobbleheads and tickets and different things to contribute to this fundraiser and try to help it out. So it's pretty cool. So you guys can check out at McKenna, that is MAKENNA_M19 on Twitter, or visit Linktree at MacMartin19. I would put it on the thing, but I can't do that. So you guys know how to do Linktree. Just go to the thing. You guys can find it. It's on the internet, or check out DodgersNation.com. We have an article about it. So about this year's bracket, though, all of the setup and pomp and circumstance out of the way, some of the seating feels a little sus. I understand why. It's hard to come up with the seating of these, and also there is a
Subjective.
it's not objective, but that's part of the fun. You have a problem with the bracket, make your own.
Yeah.
And this is the one we have, and it's fun, and it's a good time for the people that want to participate. Notably, first year without Corey Seager, so that changed some of the seating. Feels weird not having my boy Siegs on. Oh, those things.
Someone just tagged us in that. Both of us.
The paper rings.
Yes.
Oh.
Paper rings. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
Anyways, this year didn't have Corey Seager, so that did change some of the seating, but, that's all I got. Who won? Doug McCain's DMAC.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to
LAs.
confirm that I did fill out the bracket. I definitely lobbied for. I gave it to my wife to show me. First of all, she was like, "Who's Joey Gallo?"
Well, did you just reveal that you have a wife? No.
Yeah, no, well, we'll see. You never know.
See.
Yeah, no, we definitely went through it, and it was just funny to see the things that she was Googling. She was like, hottest Trey Turner picture, hottest Cody Bellinger picture without a
wouldn't be hard
shirt,
to find a Trey.
bearded, did it, and she was just like Googling all this crazy stuff. We kind of went back and forth. Me, you know what?
She was.
She was,
Yeah,
I try to help sub up some
Topless Trey
guys.
Turners, yeah.
Yeah.
Check the tapes.
I was like, why is Craig Kimbrell even on there? I wanted her to just write in Mark Pryor for what he did for our rotation this year for our staff. But I would think that, what I think should win?
Who do you think should
Easily. To me, it should have been a slam dunk on everyone. Should have picked this guy, Will Smith. You know why? Because people think I look like him.
it looks like
so
D-Mac.
Will Smith.
Hey, get a one shot of Doug so people know.
Will
that
Smith,
right there.
my brother.
That is
Big Willie style. He called me YouTube first time we met.
YouTube.
He's
Look
like,
at that.
we saw him. Will Smith goes YouTube. But yeah, Will Smith, like I said,
There you go,
I'm not
bud.
saying we're twins, but no one has a picture of us in the same room. So I think Will Smith should have won.
Who did you actually put on your official unofficial bracket?
Well, she picked Trey Turner.
Oh.
I didn't want to influence her too heavily, but yeah, I was like, dude,
Trying to keep him
Trey's coiffed
a
the
Dodger
hair.
next season.
Yeah, keep him.
the
yeah.
hair. Yeah, the hair game's strong.
His hair is pretty
on
crazy,
TT,
yeah.
man, yeah.
Who'd you pick?
So my guy.
And what went into it? Like, what is your qualifications? Like, what are you looking for?
I just looked at it's some of them were like, all right, who can make me laugh?
Humor's
That's-
big for me.
Yeah, you got to have that in there. You got to have the something more than just the sexiness.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I went sexiness. Trace Thompson. He's a handsome boy. He's damaged goods, so that's hot.
Yeah.
He has a backstory. He has a rich family.
Yeah.
So he's basically like a Kardashian, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Isn't he? Yeah.
Thompson tough.
Yeah, there it is. So I
He
mean,
could introduce you to
he's
Clay.
a handsome boy. The staring deeply into those eyes. They're blue eyes, right?
I'll tell you a funny story. Let me tell you a funny story. When Jean Googled Cody Bellinger shirtless, she goes, "Man, belly's ripped," and it was a picture of him on the dress up day. And I'm like, it's not it. She's like, oh, it looks so real. Hey, belly don't look like that.
No. Well, I mean, it was incredibly
Yeah.
white, and he is an incredibly white boy, flesh wise. But anyway, who won on yours? Did you participate in this, producer Cody?
I'm gonna say Trey Turner. I
You
think
guys just really want him back, don't you?
no. I mean, Well, personal pick, I would have picked Cody just because,
Cody's got to stick together.
But Trey
Yeah,
Turner, man, the hair and like, come on, like, the hair is just like, it gets you. When you see him, you're just like, and he's the wolf of the ravine, like Doug likes to say. I'd go with Trey Turner.
Respect. See,
You and Gene have the same taste in men.
Will Smith, close second. I got you.
Will Smith, guy.
Hey, who was in your your final?
My final. Okay, I can get. So
I had Gallo, because that's just a beef of a dude. I had Gallo versus Thompson, of course.
Gallo made it pretty far for you, huh?
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, so with Gallo, Gallo was going pretty far. Gene saw the big pec pic, from the dress up day, and then she saw him without the beard. The picture with the Yankees where it looks like a straight up chicken.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, he can't make it. So
beard game strong.
Yeah, his beard game is definitely strong. But final four for that was we got Mookie.
Let's see. I got to pull it up right here. Here's my final four officially. I had Gallo versus Mookie, and I had Thompson versus Cody. So
okay, here we go.
Diversity.
We had Belly versus Smith, who should have won, was robbed, and Turner versus Betts, and then Turner and Belly in the final, and then Trey winning. So I'm hoping that Trey has the same amount of success this year in the postseason. And this is kind of because did they say Gavin Lux won last year?
I don't. I believe some people. There's no official winner. This isn't. This isn't like sanctioned, and it's.
No.
It's all opinion.
Yeah. No, I DM'd McKenna. I was like, "How do I donate this and that?" She's like, "There's a link. You could have just seen the link." And I am.
Doug,
I gotta
Doug
ask.
isn't good at.
I gotta ask the question.
Instructions.
Yeah.
I had to tell him how to make the hello for what is the chili beans from.
Oh, those are good, by the way.
Yeah. Shout out to who made those. I don't know. We had like a food sponsor a couple years ago, and they've just been floating around from DNHQ. Those have been at 3 different DNHQs. What do you got? Nutrisystem.
Oh, I'm Dan Marino.
Try, I don't know, they're not sponsoring us, but try the Nutrisystem chili beans. They are DMAC approved.
People have a problem with this. I didn't even know people have an issue. I didn't even see people hate on this idea of doing this, objectifying. Hey, come on, it's all fun and games. It's not like we're coming out with one of like, which Dodger has like the hottest wife or girlfriend. We're not gonna go out and do that, right? Equivalent, right? So it's okay. It's all fun and games, guys.
I ain't gonna be here. Moving on, final thoughts for the show, guys. Appreciate you, some of you, letting us have a little levity here and do something different that is, again, for a good cause. Check out the links in our stuff to donate if that is something you can do. My final thought presented by our friends at Hornitos. So I got a nice Hornitos sleeve here that I really like. Look at that. You like tequila?
Love tequila.
I want a tequila little time with you. Anyway, it's a song. I absolutely loved what the Cardinals and manager Ollie Marmol set up for the big 3 there in St. Louis. I think it was yesterday. You had Waino in the game. Waino exits the game. Molina exits the game. Albert Pujols exits the game. Their final game at Busch Stadium in the regular season. But it was just a cool moment. It gave me like kind of shades of when the captain and Andy Pettitte went out to go get Mariano Rivera. It was a cool moment. I mean, there was no tears because everybody was leaving together, but it's a good moment for baseball. These dudes are 3 absolute legends in the game of baseball and straight up icons that will be forever linked with the St. Louis Cardinals, and it's cool to see. You guys, we've been battling them. The Dodgers have been battling them for the last decade and a half. Some of the best players in baseball, and they got a hero send off, which is what you want to see. The same type of thing you don't see Alex Verdugo getting when he comes back to LA. We brought it full circle, but that's cool. That is how you play the game. That is how you do it right. And I hope over these next couple of games in Anaheim, Phil Nevin does the same to take Shohei Ohtani off the mound because his ass played his last game as an Angel this week. I'm just saying. But guys, as we wrap up the show, here's one final shot. May the Dodgers stay healthy and win all the games. May you guys stay healthy and happy and go enjoy yourself a fine Hornitos Paloma with your friends like I plan on doing. So cheers. Guys, find us on the internet at DodgersNation.com. Subscribe to Blue Heavens. We are a podcast. Heaven. We are a podcast. iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Pandora. Everywhere your podcasts are available for free. We are there. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Leave as many stars as you can. YouTube.com/DodgersNationTV. Hit the bell. Leave a like. Tell your grandma. It's a good spot to be. I am Real FRG. That guy is DMac_LA. You can find us both on Instagram and Twitter at those handles. We are Dodgers Nation on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for your questions. Go team. We'll see you, I guess, later this week, but also next Monday. Bye. I have to push the button.